You're not just tired in your body anymore. It's deeper than that. It's quieter than pain, but heavier than exhaustion. It's the kind of tired that doesn't live in your muscles. It lives in your chest, in your breath, in the space behind your eyes. It's the kind of tired that sleep doesn't fully touch anymore. The kind that lingers after rest, that waits for you when you wake up, that greets you before your thoughts even form. You wake up already carrying something heavy, already feeling behind before the day begins, already needing a pause you haven't earned and can't explain. Your mind feels foggy, like you're walking through thoughts instead of thinking them. Your heart feels tender, like everything touches it more deeply than it used to. Even the smallest decisions, what to eat, what to say, what to answer, what to postpone, feel heavier than they should. You're still showing up, still answering messages, still fulfilling responsibilities, still being dependable, still functioning. But something inside you knows this exhaustion is different. This isn't burnout from doing too much. This isn't laziness. This isn't weakness. This isn't failure. This is fatigue from becoming someone new. Right now, your life may feel strangely quiet. Not peaceful, quiet. The kind of quiet that feels unfamiliar instead of calming. The kind that makes you wonder if something is missing, or if something is finally settling. Things that once mattered don't hit the same anymore. Achievements that once energized you now feel hollow. Distractions that once comforted you don't work the way they used to. People you used to understand feel distant. Conversations feel thinner. Connections feel harder to maintain. Not because you don't care, but because your inner world has shifted and your outer world hasn't caught up yet. Old motivations don't move you, but new ones haven't fully arrived. So you're left standing in the quiet space between what no longer fits and what hasn't formed yet. You might feel unproductive, slower, softer than before, less driven, less sharp, less urgent. And somewhere in that softness, a fear whispers, maybe I'm falling behind. Maybe I'm losing my edge. Maybe I'm wasting time. Maybe something's wrong with me. You're not. You're tired because the universe is transitioning you. There are seasons where life asks you to build, to grind, to hustle, to chase, to prove, to survive. There are seasons where life rewards speed, ambition, discipline, endurance. But then there are seasons where life asks something else. It asks you to slow down, to soften, to stop gripping so tightly, to loosen your identity from productivity, to release the version of yourself that only knew how to move forward by force. There are seasons where life asks you to shed outdated beliefs, old coping mechanisms, survival patterns, roles you no longer fit into, expectations you never chose but learned to carry, to let the old version of you quietly step aside, not in shame, not in failure, but in completion. Those seasons don't look impressive from the outside. They don't come with applause. They don't come with trophies, promotions, or visible wins. They don't come with milestones you can post, track, or celebrate publicly. They come with fatigue, with emotional fog, with confusion, with grief you can't fully explain, with the strange feeling of standing between two lives. You're not broken, you're in between. What you're experiencing right now is an energetic recalibration, an internal reorganization, a deep, cellular rewrite. Think of it like this. When a house is being rewired, the lights flicker. Some rooms go dark. Power cuts out unexpectedly. Everything feels unstable for a while, even though the system is actually being upgraded. Parts of the house must shut down so the structure can carry more current later. From the inside, it feels inconvenient. From the outside, it looks like nothing is happening. But beneath the walls, behind the ceilings, inside the foundation, everything is changing. Your exhaustion is the flicker. Your emotional heaviness is the power outage. Your confusion is the construction noise you can't locate. The universe doesn't transition you gently. It transitions you thoroughly. Because old identities have weight. Old habits cling. Old survival strategies don't leave quietly. Old versions of you don't step aside easily, even when they're tired, even when they're outdated, even when they no longer serve your growth. Letting go of who you were, even when that version of you was anxious, wounded, overworked, or exhausted, still costs energy, because that version of you once kept you alive, once kept you safe, once carried you through storms you didn't think you'd survive. Grief doesn't only come from losing people, it comes from losing identities. It comes from releasing versions of yourself that once protected you but now limit you. And that kind of grief doesn't always come with tears. Sometimes it comes as exhaustion. Sometimes it comes as numbness. Sometimes it comes as emotional fog. Sometimes it comes as silence. And that release, that internal unhooking, is exhausting. You may notice you need more rest than usual, more sleep, more space, more solitude, more quiet, more moments of doing nothing without knowing why. Your nervous system is learning a new rhythm. Your body is learning safety without adrenaline. Your mind is learning stillness without threat. Your soul is learning a new posture, one that doesn't brace for impact, but trusts stability. There's an internal negotiation happening between who you've been and who you're becoming, between the version of you that learned to survive and the version of you that's learning to live, between the self that knew how to fight and the self that's learning how to receive. And that negotiation happens mostly in the dark, mostly when you're still, mostly when you're alone, mostly when nothing looks like it's moving. That's why it feels like nothing is happening, even though everything is happening, just not where others can see it. This is the hidden work phase, the invisible labor, the silent rebuilding, the behind-the-scenes moment, the part of the story no one claps for, no one documents, no one celebrates, but everything that comes next depends on. The universe often does its most important work when it removes your urgency, when it slows you down enough that you can't outrun the truth anymore, when it quiets the noise so you're finally forced to hear yourself. And here's the part no one tells you. Transition can feel lonelier than pain. Pain is familiar. Pain gives you something to fight. Pain gives you momentum. Pain gives you a clear enemy. Pain gives you a storyline. Transition removes the fight before it gives you the reward. It removes the enemy before it shows you the future. It takes away the adrenaline before it replaces it with peace. So you're left in a strange space, not wounded enough to battle, not healed enough to celebrate, just waiting, just listening, just becoming. You may feel misunderstood right now. People might tell you to push harder, to snap out of it, to stay productive, to stay motivated, to stay busy, not realizing that pushing is exactly what would disrupt this process. They don't see the internal demolition happening. They don't feel the emotional weight you're carrying. They don't feel the nervous system recalibration. They don't feel the soul level reorganization. So you start wondering, is something wrong with me? Why can't I function like I used to? Why am I slower? Why am I tired? Why don't I care the same way? There isn't. The tiredness you're feeling is not weakness. It's not laziness. It's not failure. It's not regression. It's proof that you're no longer operating from pure adrenaline, survival mode, hypervigilance, or emotional overdrive. You're shifting into alignment. And alignment isn't loud. Alignment isn't urgent. Alignment isn't frantic. Alignment is honest. Alignment is grounded. Alignment is quiet. Alignment is slow. Alignment requires truth. It requires rest. It requires stillness. It requires you to stop performing strength and start becoming it. Because real strength isn't how much you can endure. It's how gently you can listen. It's how honestly you can stop. It's how deeply you can soften without collapsing. There's grief here too. Quiet grief, subtle grief, wordless grief. The grief of realizing certain chapters are over. Certain versions of you will never exist again. Certain dreams must evolve instead of manifest exactly as imagined. Certain identities no longer fit. Certain relationships can't come with you. Not because they're bad, but because they're built for who you were, not who you're becoming. Even when the future holds something better, the present still aches. Because endings hurt even when they're right. Because growth hurts even when it's necessary. Because evolution hurts even when it's aligned. Let that ache exist. Let yourself mourn what's ending without rushing toward what's next. Let yourself grieve without explanation. Let yourself rest without justification. You're not failing because you're tired. You're tired because you're succeeding at something very few people allow themselves to do. Change from the inside out. Most people change behaviors. Few people change nervous systems. Most people chase goals. Few people dismantle identities. Most people heal symptoms. Few people heal roots. You are doing root work. The universe often transitions people right before a breakthrough by removing their ability to hustle their way forward. It removes shortcuts. It removes adrenaline. It removes force. It removes distraction. It removes speed. It forces surrender, not as punishment, but as protection. Because what's coming next requires clarity, not exhaustion, presence, not panic, wholeness, not self-abandonment, truth, not performance. This is the phase where your old coping mechanisms stop working, where distraction doesn't soothe you the way it used to, where numbing doesn't numb, where busyness doesn't help, where productivity doesn't distract, where noise doesn't quiet the ache. You can't go back, but you're not fully forward yet. You're standing between who you were and who you're becoming. That in-between space is sacred, and it's heavy. It's sacred because it's honest. It's heavy because it's unfamiliar. It's sacred because it's transformative. It's heavy because it requires patience. If you're feeling slower, softer, more emotional, more reflective, more sensitive, more aware, good. That means you're listening. That means you're not bypassing the process. That means you're not rushing the healing. That means you're letting the transformation finish its work. Soon, the energy will return, but it will return different, not frantic, focused, not desperate, directed, not loud, grounded, not chaotic, clean, calmer, cleaner, rooted in truth instead of urgency, in peace instead of pressure, in purpose instead of performance, in wholeness instead of survival. You won't need to force motivation. It will rise naturally from alignment. You won't need to prove anything. You won't need to impress anyone. You won't need to outrun anything. You'll just move. And one day, not far from now, you'll look back at this tired version of yourself with deep gratitude. You'll realize this was the moment everything shifted quietly, the moment your nervous system softened, the moment your identity loosened, the moment your soul exhaled, the moment the universe stepped in and said, "Let me take this from here." So if all you can do right now is rest, that is enough. If all you can do right now is breathe, that is enough. If all you can do right now is stay, that is more than enough. If all you can do right now is not quit, that is heroic. Before you go, anchor this moment for your future self. Write this in the comments as your declaration. I honor this transition, and I trust who I'm becoming. And if someone you love has been unusually tired, withdrawn, quieter than usual, less themselves, or lost lately, share this with them. Not to fix them, not to rush them, not to save them, but to remind them they're not broken, they're becoming. You're not being left behind, you're being prepared.